Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I got a treat for you guys today, something that you probably didn't know existed. Hell, I didn't even know this thing existed until last week. But before we get into that, if you guys could smash that like and subscribe button, that way you guys can stay up to date on all future content here on the channel, I would appreciate it. So lately, I've been trying to beef up my Final Fantasy collection. I'm a massive Final Fantasy fan, have been ever since I was 12 years old, and I really wanted to beef up that collection. I own pretty much every Final Fantasy game on the Nintendo Switch, still hoping for that VIII Remastered, and I'm trying to build up my collection on all my other consoles, whether it be Xbox, PlayStation, Super Nintendo, all that. And I have a pretty decent collection so far, but I want to be able to build upon my PlayStation collection. So the one thing that I wanted to do was go and get Final Fantasy 14 physical copies on my PS4. I own the game on Steam and I play it pretty regularly, but I wanted to get the physical copies on the PS4, so I went on Amazon and I ordered the physical copies as well as the expansions that go along with it. But while I was scrolling on Amazon, I noticed something that I could not believe, and it was Final Fantasy VIII. Physical copy of Final Fantasy VIII on the PlayStation 4, which I didn't know this thing even existed. Now, this is a UK version, but the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 is region free, so you can play this on your American PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5. I popped it in my PS5, and I was really surprised to see this thing on Amazon, and I quickly picked it up. I think it was like 35 bucks or something, and right away I just went in and added it to cart and bought it. Now, I own the physical copy on the Nintendo Switch, which came in the double pack of Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII, but to see that thing pop up on the PlayStation 4 was something that I had to pick up right away. For a lot of fans, Final Fantasy VII was their entry point into the franchise, and to be honest with you, it was my entry point too, I'm not gonna lie, but the first Final Fantasy game I ever completed was Final Fantasy VIII. This was the game that when it came out, I actually stopped playing Final Fantasy VII for a while, and I went and I completed Final Fantasy VIII. So to see this game get a physical release on the PlayStation 4 was something I had to quickly add to my collection. I have so much nostalgia for this game, just going back, playing this game every night after school after I did my homework. I mean, let's be real, homework, right? It was the game that got me hooked into Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy VII was my entry point. Final Fantasy VIII was the game that got me addicted to the franchise. And to see this game get a physical port for the PlayStation 4 was just a great thing for a fan. Like, that was awesome for me. That was something like, it was an instant pickup. I would like to see it get a physical port over to the Xbox, but I think they're just gonna do the digital stuff on the Xbox. We're never gonna get any physical stuff over there. But when I was scrolling through just trying to fill out my collection, and I seen that, automatically had to buy, and something I actually had to talk about on camera, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of you guys out there who are Final Fantasy fans just like me that had no idea that this game even existed on a physical copy. Maybe if you're over in the UK, you're over in Europe, maybe you guys seen this, but here in the United States, like, we don't see this. Like, you can't walk into a store and see this. Even some of my retro stores where I go and they have imports and stuff, usually I do a really good job picking up my imported games when I see them, and I haven't even come across this thing. So to see this was like an instant fangasm, and I was just like, oh my god, I have to add this to my collection right away, even though I already owned the game digitally on my Xbox, PC, Nintendo Switch, physical copy on the Nintendo Switch, and of course the original copy that I've owned for many years. So Final Fantasy VIII, getting that physical copy, definitely was a great fan experience for me. It was able to get that one more item to my collection to add to beef up my collection, and it was something that I was just like super excited to see and get. And when it came in the mail, I was just like super happy. I do wish the cover looked a little better though, right? Like the cover, like, I mean, the cover could have been better. Like, I mean, I've seen fan covers for the Xbox and PlayStation 4 that had a much better cover, but I'm just nitpicking. Don't take it serious. So Final Fantasy VIII physical copy on the PlayStation 4. Did you know it existed? Be sure to leave your comments in the comment box below. Once again, guys, if you like this video, please smash that like and subscribe button and stay up to date on all future content. And until next time, as always, I am Robert Storms, and that is my opinion.